Hello, mums, dads, partners, people that just had a baby. Congratulations. We've just had a son just over 3 weeks ago, and we're super, super happy about it. And my wife, Eileen, she's currently breastfeeding our child, all day long. And so I've developed an iOS or iPhone app for my wife that she can use all day long to track how the breastfeeding's going, remember which breast to use, and so on. And the app just basically tells you exactly when the estimated time is pretty accurate. I mean, it's accurate to probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes when your child actually needs to be fed. With that said, rather than just talking, let me just show you the app straight away. It's far better than me just explaining stuff to you. As we can see here, we can look at the app. This is exactly how the app will be when you download it in the App Store. There won't be any adverts, there won't be any subscriptions, there won't be any registrations, there won't be any forms. You download it, this is what you see instantly, and boom, you can press basically start or begin feeding instantly, and it will start tracking it. No messing around. Within 5 seconds, even 2 seconds of getting this app installed and launching it, you can start actually feeding it. And as you can see, we've got right, it's highlighted in purple. This is saying that the right breast is recommended because the last one that was used was the left breast. And we can see here that there's still a little bit of couple of things that I need to fix with some text and stuff like that, but the functionality of the app is working perfectly fine. So you can see here the feeding is in progress, and it started at 14:35 or 2:35, and it's been currently running for 40 seconds. So let's just say done feeding here. And you can see here that we've got now an overview of the completed feeding time, saying which breast was used when it started and when it finished. And we can see that it spent 44 seconds. Obviously, this is not an accurate feed. Okay, so we can now come to prepare for new feed. This resets the app. So you can see now that the next breast to use is the left, that's recommended, and the last one was the right one. You can swap and change this if you want to, but it's always good. Our midwife advises always to alternate the apps and alternate the position of the child to make sure that your breast is, I don't know. Anyway, this is what you can speak to your midwife about, is about positioning the baby, but at least it reminds you which breast to use, and you don't forget. You know what it's like, you wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, which breast did I use? Well, the app tells you which ones to use, okay? So you can see in here that you've got last fed with right breast, and that was like just short of a minute ago. We can come to the stats now. And remember, this is not any paywalls or anything like that, no subscriptions. This is all, everything you get in the app. You can see here a description of the last feed. It tells you which breast was used, what started, stopped, and time since. This is all real time, so this is all updating continuously. And then we can see some more statistical data. Likely next feed in 2 hours and 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, this is pretty accurate. Our son, he needs to feed approximately every like 2 to 2.5 hours, approximately during the daytimes. You can see here today that he's already had 57.5 minutes worth of feeding, and the average duration is 12 minutes at the moment. And average time between feeds is like nearly 2 hours. And he's having about 9 feeds per day. So we can then go to the Today tab. And you can see here that Eileen fed him at 1:36 in the morning for 15 minutes, 5 o'clock for 10 minutes, and then just short of 8 o'clock for 6 minutes, just short 10 o'clock for 7 minutes, and then quarter to 12 for 8 minutes or 9 minutes, and so on. So you can see all of this information is nicely presented to you as well. It's nicely presented to you as well. So we can come into this and we can now edit this information. If you did it wrong, or you pressed the stop button too late and you know, it was at roughly this time, we can edit all of this information and we can add basically them manually later, because you can set a time in the past is no problem too. All right, so if you forget to do the app, just go back to the app, start, stop feed, and then manually edit that feed too. And we've got them feeding cues like rooting, sucking fist, crying, head turning, hand to mouth. These are just things for you just to see what the cues were to tell you what you feed. But if you rely upon the app, it's pretty accurate already, and you can say that this one was created at and last updated. It's more like development stuff here, and you can delete it as well. So we go back, and this is just today. So when you go inside the today page, you'll only get the ones on today's date. It's not the last 24 hours, it's just today. So if you want to see a log of all of the breastfeeding, like the journal here, you can see we can scroll back all the way down to the 27th of July. Eileen's been using this a lot more, but I've had multiple versions where the data's been updated. So, the last stable release that I had with Eileen was on the 27th. And we can see here that these are all of the feeds that she had here as well. So then the settings, you can come in here and let's just add Dominic, for example, in his name, and his due date was actually the 29th of July, and his birth date was the 10th of July. And I can see here that he's 22 days old, and his expected weight is 3.14 kilograms to 3.47. And you've got this peer-to-peer sync down the bottom. I'll tell you about in a minute. And if you come into weight estimate summary, it can tell you how this is all being calculated and how it's working it out as well. If this is something that you want to read, I've tried to make this app as transparent as possible. And one thing I want you to know is this app does not send or receive any data apart from what internally has done with Apple. All right. So, but otherwise there is no outside requests for this app, and it's not saving any data. I'm not using any of your data. This app will work perfectly fine in airplane mode, turning Bluetooth off, turning Wi-Fi off. It will just work, okay? And you don't have to worry about it. It also works in night mode too, so I can flick it to night mode and it'll all just work perfectly fine at a night time, so the screen isn't just like blaring out and so on. Anyway, that's down for you to decide. It's super easy to use. If you're on the stats page and you're looking and you suddenly go, oh, I'm starting feeding spontaneously, you can press this plus button up the top and that starts a feed. And as you can see here, this is an old part of the app, which I'm probably going to get rid of. Here you can see stop feed choosing the breast, but the breast is already chosen here already, and you can see that it's running correctly on this other page, and we can then do done feeding there as well. So I'm just going to delete these ones because they kind of mess up the statistics. So I'm just going to delete it here. Come to this 18-second one as well because it delete it here because it messes up basically all of these stats and so on. It's better to have the accurate information rather than that. And then down the bottom you can see a nice little bar chart. One color is the left breast and the other color is the right breast. I forget which one it is now, but they're just showing you there's alternating feedings here. And this is just a nice little overview. The y-axis is how many minutes the baby was fed for, and then the x-axis or the horizontal axis is then the time of day per hour. With that said, we've got this peer-to-peer sync, and it says here, allow this device to broadcast. What this is this using Apple's connectivity. They'll basically, if you've got this app installed on multiple iPhones with inside your local network, it will search for the apps on the local network, and it will push this data. And so you don't really want your partner or your husband or your parents or your caretaker or whoever who has the other app pushing the data to you because you're the one breastfeeding. Okay, this app isn't supposed to be for bottle feeding right now. This is supposed to be for breastfeeding. So I considered that the person with the phone that's doing the breastfeeding is the broadcaster, and the others are just basically consuming the data. And so if you want to be the broadcaster, this is the one, allow this device to broadcast. You turn it on, and then when you make a change, it'll just broadcast it out to all other devices, and they'll update, and you won't receive any clutter from them. With that said, there is also an export button on here. This is going to be removed at one point, which I'm probably going to put a paywall to stop this. Basically, like the real great information, I'm probably going to put a paywall in that you're going to have to pay for to access this type of stuff. But the app will always be in the App Store to give you as much information as possible. The app, I'm probably going to let 500 people install the app before I implement a paywall, because it's more important to me to see that the people enjoy the app, they use the app, they can get something out of it, they can give me feedback on it, etc. So the money right now isn't hugely important to me. Obviously, at one point, I'm going to need to get paid for doing this development of this app, but I want to make sure that the person using it, primary thing they get out of it is that it helps them to feed their baby, not that they help me to earn money. If I can add even better features on it that you decide you want to pay for, then that's what I will do. I'm not going to remove top features that is required for you to have in order for you to understand when your child needs feeding. That would be pointless. All right. So if and when I do add a payment wall or a subscription to it, I will have everyone's personal interest at heart as well, rather than just my financial interest. However, I will more than likely grandfather rights the app using the likes of the keychain inside the app to see whoever installed it initially will more than likely never get the paywall on side of it. So it's going to be an incentive to install it first and so on. And if you have used it over, maybe I can put a little algorithm in there to see that you've actually used it correctly over the space of a few weeks or something. Then you will get this grandfather rights. But that's something in the future. Anyway, with that said, I hope that you've got something out of it. Right now, this is just an app that isn't in the App Store as of yet. If you want to be a tester of it, the app is already in test flights. So just pop me an email and say that you would like to be an internal tester, and I will add you to test flights. All you have to do is download test flights, send me your email address and say that you would like to test it, and then I will insert you as an internal tester. And then you'll be able to test and send me feedback all the time using the app. And when you see the updates, you'll get the normal updates through test flights. Okay, with that said, I hope that you've got something out of this video. I hope that you've used this app. I'm going to make future videos about it when I improve things, when I update things, and so on. I just really hope that I'm helping people here, and I really hope that it's giving you a great app that you can use. I've downloaded pretty much all of the apps on the App Store to test them, and either one, you had a registration in the beginning, two, you had to pay for stuff, three, the analytics, analysis wasn't very good. Keeping on going, the functionality wasn't very good, the features weren't very good, the readability wasn't very good, and so on. So there were lots of things missing with it. And over the next coming weeks, I will add more and more things on it. I'm on 13 days on this app at the moment, and I have a life, have a child to look after, and other things as well. So I'm doing it a few hours every single day. But right now we're on 13 days. So you should expect to have a lot more features, a lot more better things in the future. So incentive is to add yourself to the test flight version. And we'll just go from there. Thanks very much. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.